Welcome. It's King of the Bootleggers Prohibition Trivia. My name's Chris Denman. You know me. I host a little show called We Are Live, but every Friday, right here on the George Remus Facebook page, I get to host this, King of the Bootleggers Trivia. Tonight will be an excellent time. Let me tell you a quick few things. We're saying hello to our friends in Cincinnati. Once again, you know what? Cheers to Cincinnati and to the king of the bootleggers himself, George Remus. Lots of history in Cincinnati. We loved it so nice. We named it. We're going back twice. I don't know how that works. I don't get paid to come up with that kind of thing. But I am here to tell you a few things. If you're under 21, beat it. Hit share and make sure your aunt joins the show. Let's have some fun tonight, and we need to be over 21. MGP Products makes this happen, and anything I or my guests or anyone says in the comments does not reflect their opinion. You know what? It is what it is, guys. It does not reflect MGP's opinion. We're going to get things going. We have a very special guest from Barkeep. Our friend Pat Joy is here, but very, very, very excited to bring you New York Times best-selling author Karen Abbott. You know her from The Ghosts of Eden Park. Joining today, so many great things to discuss, the stories. It's going to be a good time. We have real talent on the show, and we need to showcase that. So be sure to hit share, invite your friends, and stick around. We're going to play some trivia and have some fun. Let's bring them in. Let's bring in Pat Joya from Barkeep and our friend Karen Abbott. Again, author, New York Times bestselling author, The Ghosts of Eden Park. Hello, Karen. How are you? Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I've been looking forward to this all week.
I am so happy to hear that because you're accomplished and you're in New York where things tend to be busy and maybe you've got a lot going on, quarantine or not. So for you to spend some time with us this evening, very excited to have you. And we'll just start it off right. Cheers to you, Karen. And,
cheers to you.
And thanks. And Pat, cheers to you. How are you,
cheers
sir?
To the king of the bootleggers.
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm very good today.
To Remus himself. Pat, we have an expert on. She put out a book and it's been sold to a lot of people.
Yeah, once I realized who I was on with, I knew this was going to be a struggle, but I'm going to put up my best fight today. I'm going to hopefully use my brain to my potential.
So let's go. So what we do, if you're new to the show, we loosely interview, kind of hang out, drink some cocktails, and we feature cocktails from different cities. So again, we'll show some great cocktails from Cincinnati. Pat, what we'll do for you today is we'll go heavy on the interview and then maybe just lighter on the trivia as if you're not feeling too comfortable with
I'm willing to fight it out. Let's do it.
With Karen in the room. Real quick, Pat's from Barkeep US, we're located in St. Louis. Pat, anything that you want to update people on? So quarantine, wherever that's happening to you, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching. Pat's here in the Midwest delivering canned cocktails. So big shout out to Barkeep, keeping people.
That's an essential worker right there, definitely.
Thank you. And you're, again, best-selling New York Times author Karen Abbott supports Barkeep and their delivery system.
Definitely.
Big shout out to you, Pat. I'm pumped to come back to Cincinnati. We had a lot of fun with our Cincinnati friends last time. I think it's going to get real busy in the comments, and the person who's in charge of the comments, his name is producer Matt. We'll say hi to him real quick. Matt, how are you, sir?
Hello, hello.
Anybody getting busy in the comments yet, or do we need to come back?
Yes.
Oh,
we
gosh.
have got Janet Woodruff Sullivan saying hello from Janet and Brian in Cincinnati. Ashley Freeman Sewell says the book is awesome and highly recommended.
Oh, wow.
And Todd M. Carnes says, Chris, I'm here for you.
Oh. Well,
that's nice.
Guess you're not the only one who's popular tonight, Karen. Okay.
I'll take it. You deserve your own accolades, definitely.
From one comment, I'll take it. Karen, real quick, the journey of being an author does not start at the top of the New York Times bestseller list. Let's get some background on what originally drew you to the character that is George Remus.
Well, if anybody knows George Remus, it's obvious. But if you don't know him, I personally was introduced to him through the TV show Boardwalk Empire. A lot of your listeners might be fans of the show. It was on HBO for 5 seasons. A really amazing show. I think it perfectly captured the dawn of Prohibition. Nobody had yet heard of Al Capone. And there was a minor character named George Remus. And he spoke of himself in the third person, which led to a lot of very comic, sort of Abbott and Costello-esque moments in the show. And of course, the real Remus also spoke of himself in the third person, saying things like, Remus's brain exploded, which I think was one of my favorite Remus sayings.
It's certainly larger than life is how the man certainly lived, and it keeps moving forward with the book that you put out. Give us a little bit of insight on how that gets started. I mean, you see the character on the TV show, and then immediately think, I should write a book and take over the world. How does that work? Get us to the day that you knew it was going to be published.
Well, I started researching him, and he was so much more fascinating than anything that was portrayed on Boardwalk Empire. And I think I hit pay dirt when I realized that there was a trial transcript. I hate spoiling the story for people who haven't read the book yet, but I wanted to write it like a nonfiction whodunit, which you rarely can do in nonfiction, writing an actual, sort of mystery, murder mystery. But there was a trial transcript from the 1920s, which is really rare because they're always tossed out or lost along the way. And it was 5,500 pages and just full of incredible detail about George Remus and his life. One of my favorite details was that George Remus did not wear underwear. And in the 1920s, this was cause for great alarm. Apparently, it was a sign of an unsound mind, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit later on Remus and his very peculiar way of thinking in some respects.
Pat, you share a lot of similarities with Remus. I won't go to the specifics. I am curious. We'll go away from the obvious, but Pat, have you read 5,500 pages in your entire life?
I don't know if you actually saw me, but I definitely was like, wow, when it was like 5,500 pages. So did you come through that whole thing, Karen?
Oh, I did. It took me about 4 months to go through all of the pages, and it resulted in an outline. I'm a huge outliner. I like to know exactly where the story's going. There's always room for surprise and sort of little nice details. But I learned the hard way to outline. And the outline was about 85,000 words, which was nearly the length of the book itself. But it just was a testament to how rich his life was. There was just so much great material there that I really just couldn't believe that he existed. And I don't think he could have existed in any other era but the 1920s, and probably not in any other city besides Cincinnati. It just was a perfect fit.
No, that's a great way to put it. It's almost the mix of he had just enough technology to be dangerous, but not enough to get himself caught.
Yeah.
in many aspects, but right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a slippery guy. Let's put it that way.
You know what else is slippery? This trivia. That's what happened. It's going to slip right through the cracks with Pat and myself. And I don't know, Karen, do you want to be part of the trivia? Do you want to poke fun at us? How should we play this out? I wanted to leave this. Blank. I didn't want to discuss it with you. I want to hit you with it on the spot.
I mean, I'm always up for some trivia. I'm basically down for anything. I've got my cocktail here. Let's just roll. Whatever you want me to do, I'm here. My African gray parrot is here. He might assist in some of the trivia. His name is Dexter, and he was my constant writing companion, often voicing his opinion of my day's work by literally crapping on the pages. But anyway, he's here to hang out too. So.
Well, one more time on the name. I'm sorry.
Dexter.
Great to meet Dexter. And I'm not usually a fan of prop humor, but Dexter's he's a welcome guest on the show.
I only brought him up because he might start screaming, and I didn't want you to think that there was like a situation happening.
Yep. Knock it out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Dexter's going to be a welcome addition to the show. We do have questions today, and we're going to get to those in just a moment. I want to start things off with a cocktail. We're all having a drink, and again, cheers. Thank you to the Remus family putting this on, and we've got shirts to talk about. We've got shirts to talk about. Pat, you make cocktails. Let's show some love to our first Cincinnati cocktail before we jump into trivia, everybody.
Hi, my name is Lily Dean. I work at the Old Kentucky Bourbon Bar here in Covington, Kentucky. Hope you're enjoying the Remus trivia, but it's time for a cocktail break. So, we're gonna make a super simple cocktail. It's called a Colonel Grey with Remus, Earl Grey simple syrup, which is half water, half sugar, with a couple of Earl Grey tea bags, and then just fresh squeezed lemon juice. All right, so it's about 2 ounces of the Remus. An ounce each of the Earl Grey syrup and lemon juice. You don't want to hide the Remus taste too much. This genre of cocktail we like to call patio pounders around here. Super easy to drink. Put a little ice in there. Give it a good shake. Then you want to strain that over some fresh rocks. It's been a while, I'm a little out of practice. You can add some soda water on there if you want. Again, it's a super simple cocktail. You can make it more sweet or more tart depending on how you like it. Usually garnish it with a lemon wheel. And you're ready to go. Cheers.
Cheers indeed to the Replacements playing in the background.
Yeah,
First thing I
was about to
noticed.
say the same.
I was like, I don't care if we get copyright struck on this one. I'll listen to some Replacements and watch a cocktail get made. Wonderful work. And again, thank you to everybody in the comments and all the wonderful people from Cincinnati and everybody else tuning in. If you're just joining, we have New York Times bestselling author Karen Abbott joining us. My name's Chris Denman. I host a show called We Are Live, and I host this every Friday. And Pat Joya from Barkeep US on the show. We're going to get into some trivia in just a second. I do want to say hello to some folks in the comments. Let's see what we're working with. That was a wonderful cocktail video, and we're so lucky to get so many cool drinks and so much effort put into these each and every week. So again, shout out to all the wonderful bartenders. And Matt, I don't know if we have some comments to get to. Let's say hello real quick. Brad's excited to see Dexter. Tim bought Karen's hardcover and anxious to read it. Just down the hill from Mount Adams and Eden Park, so this will hit close to home. That's always really cool when you read a book that's something close to home. Can't wait to have a drink at OKBB when life restarts again. And Chad says Abbott is the best. Awesome.
Hi, Chad. Love it. I love Chad.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a fan of all the fans in the comments today. Play along in the comments, and if you haven't hit share yet, please do. Let's get a bunch of people in here, have some fun tonight. It's Friday, we're quarantined, hopefully, and we're gonna work through these trivia questions. What's our first question, producer Matt?
The first question of the night. When did Ohio institute... Oh, wrong button. My fault.
That'll happen here and there.
Up, right, the wrong. There we go. Let's try that one out. When did Ohio institute prohibition? Was it A, 1907, B, 1919, or C, 1921?
Let's sit on this for a second.
Yeah, have a look.
I'm gonna do this a lot today in particular. Karen, do you already know the answer?
Yes. I hope I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, you can throw me off the show right now.
Pat, are you confident in your answer?
No, I mean, I've narrowed it down a little, but no, I'm not confident in it.
Let's give the folks in the comments a little bit. We'll check on them in a question or two. But Karen, the honors. What do you have?
I'm going to say 1919.
You're gonna say, huh? You're gonna go out on a limb.
Yeah, exactly.
Pat, I did that to a favor to you.
I understand, and I had narrowed down between 1919 and 1921. That's where my brain was. So, I feel better about like where I was at in my head.
Okay, so you going with 1919 or the other?
I think I have to.
Yeah, we all have
Unless
to.
I want to be contrarian, yeah.
Yeah, we're not trying to prove any points. Let us know in the comments what you think, and if you think we're cheating by just following Karen's lead, let us know about that too. We'll cop to it. We got Joni saying B, Janet B, Andrew C, Karen B, Ashley says B. Lots of fun here tonight. Leanne says 1919 as well, and Brad's shouting out the Tiger King. That's Pat, because he's got the tiger in the background. What's your answer there? All right, I think we all got it. Matt, what's the correct answer?
Well, to everyone's surprise, it is B, 1919. On May 27th, 1919, Ohio implemented prohibition nearly 6 months before 18th Amendment was passed.
Karen, I know you're probably very happy that it happened due to the source material becoming available. Do you have an opinion on prohibition as a whole?
The noble experiment was also a very foolish experiment. I think we can all agree. There's no way to legislate vice, and it just seems to be a recurring theme in American history. My first book was about trying to legislate prostitution and sort of the mess that went from that. And you just see the same sort of thing with prohibition. Obviously, especially in the cities, they wanted to find their alcohol, and they were going to find a way to get it. And fortunately, they had people like George Remus to answer the call.
What a great answer. It's like we practiced. I'd expect nothing less. Let's get our second question and get busy in the comments. We'll check in on them after Matt reads our next question.
What country did George Remus set sail from when he came to America in 1882? Is it A, Austria, B, Switzerland, or C, Norway?
Okay. Well, we're going to make Karen go last, but I am going to ask the honest question. Do you know, Karen?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think I do know, but let me put it this way: with the enormous, vast quantities of information I had to I had to digest for this book, that was not one of the ones I really dwelled on. So I'll make a guess, but I'm not sure if I'm right. I do know what country he's from, obviously,
Sure.
and I know the various things about his mother and their journey over there, but I'm not. I'll take a guess though.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's check on the folks in the comments, see if they have any answers for us. Ashley's guessing Austria. Janet also Austria. Tom says C. So we got people jumping in here. The fact that this is Karen says C as well. All right, let's get to this. We'll start with Pat on the guessing. Pat, where are you going?
I'm flying blind here. But I was going to go with Norway just for the nation's great sailing prowess.
I'm going to go with Austria just because of the proximity of where he was born.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking.
I wanted to lean that way, but it's like, you know what? Just stick to your guns.
Just go, yeah.
Stick to your guns.
Well, for those of you who chose C, Norway, you would be correct. Not only is this a good geography question, as the other two options are landlocked, but while
that was where my head was. All right.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I wasn't even thinking literally. Yeah.
This is why I failed geology and yeah.
We get it. The point made.
That's honest to God where my
Yeah.
brain was. It's like, I feel like the other two are landlocked. Like, am I going
Yeah.
crazy right now? Yeah.
I was thinking like he took up residence there and then decided to head out. But that was embarrassing. Took one on the chin there. Let's do one more question and then we'll catch
we're
our next.
all kind of tipsy, so I think we have an excuse, right?
Exactly, right? That's it. Yeah, here. Cheers, everybody. Cheers to the people in the
Cheers.
comments, too. Thanks for tuning
Cheers.
in. We know you guys have lots of options like your living room or kitchen.
Question number 3. George Remus often worked out of a downtown Cincinnati office building that he purchased and renamed. What did he rename it? Is it A, the Remus Building, B, Temperance Square, or C, the Kingdom?
This one I know.
See, I like this, too, because I don't know it, but there's two really fun answers there. So I'm a fan. Pat, do you feel good about this? Do you feel like you're going to go down the right direction after that Norway luck you pulled off?
Don't get me wrong. I lucked into that, and it was definitely one of those where it's like, sailing Norway sounds right in that. But I feel like just knowing a bit of the lore of this man, not nearly as in depth as Karen, I feel like I have a good lead.
Okay.
You know?
Well, let's all think about it. Let us know in the comments. I'm going to tell everybody real quick. We've got these shirts. USBG, United States Bartenders Guild. You can send $20 directly to them by purchasing. That's right. Buyjack.com. Check it out. Go to official merchandise. This all goes to the USBG. Support all bartenders. Thanks to our friends here at King of the Bootleggers Prohibition Trivia. We make that available, and we love supporting the USBG. So you get a shirt, and you get to support all fun. All right, let's check the comments, see if anybody knows what's going on, if they're going to beat us this time around. Andrew says C. Ashley says A. Leanne's drinking. We've got all kinds of people having fun in the comments. Karen says A.
By the way, if you read my book, you should know the answer because it's in there.
Thank you. Yes. Get after them. Don't hold back. If you feel like people aren't giving you their all, let them know. You're the only one here with a real credential. What do we have? All right, let's start with Pat.
So just as grandiose as Mr. Remus was, I'm going to go with the kingdom. I feel like C, the kingdom, is going to be my lead on that one.
That's obviously the super fun answer. I'm going with, I never expect anything out of anyone, and it's got to be the Remus building. He loves himself. Come on.
It is the Remus building. It is the Remus building. And not only did he name it the Remus building, he had tile imported from Europe, and he spelled out the name Remus in the lobby on the floor.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, yeah.
The answer was on her hat the entire time. By the way, check this out, huh? I had the answer here too. There we go. Oh, that was a fun little product placement, huh? All right, let's. What do you say we check out another cocktail video? Karen, you hanging in there in New York?
I am hanging in there. Yeah, this is fun.
Okay. How about Dexter?
He is also having a cocktail. Bird safe. Bird safe cocktails.
That's all that matters. Let's roll our next cocktail clip.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to the Lonely Pine Steakhouse here in glorious Cincinnati, Ohio. Currently catching up on some new cartoons. This is some real wild stuff we got here. In honor of George Remus, Cincinnati native, I have come here today, traveled many miles to make you a cocktail that hopefully you can make at home with some very simple ingredients. All you're gonna need is some George Remus fantastic bourbon, some sweet vermouth. I today am using the Camparno Antica formula, some Ancho Reyes liqueur, and I also have some Sochi Mole bitters that we're going to use today. This is called the gunfight. So you're going to start by using 2 ounces of your George Remus bourbon. Why 2 ounces? Because it's quarantine, that's why 2 ounces. You can even make it with 3 ounces. You know, sometimes making cocktails is about your preferential palate, not necessarily the bartender's. So we're going to use another ounce of the Camparno Antica, so an ounce of this. And finally, I want you to spice up your life. So we've got our Ancho Reyes chili liqueur. We're going to do half an ounce of that. This is a very boozy, kind of spiced Manhattan-style cocktail. And then finish it off with a good helping of our Sochi Mole bitters. Top with ice. Give it a good stir. Make sure you get it really chilled down. In the meantime, if you like what I'm doing today, you want to help me, the crew at Lonely Pine Steakhouse, Gorilla Cinema, you can Venmo me at Jacob Trevino 20. We could use any help that we can get right now. So then you'll go ahead and strain this over your fresh ice. And there you go. The gunfight here at the Lonely Pine Steakhouse, using the world famous George Remus bourbon. Cheers to using yours. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. Venmo me at Jacob Trevino 20 and stay safe. Till next time, from here at the Lonely Pine Steakhouse in glorious Cincinnati, Ohio, we'll catch you next time.
Big fan of Jacob. Big fan of that shirt. Big fan of that drink. I never thought I would want to go hang out in Cincinnati, and this show has been like, hey, I need to go kick it in Cincinnati. What'd you think of the presentation there, Karen?
Oh, I mean, I love Cincinnati. I have never been to a bad bar in Cincinnati. I've never had a bad drink in Cincinnati. It's become one of my favorite cities, and I really lament that I wasn't able to get there this spring. Obviously, nobody can get anywhere, and there are bigger problems than my not being able to travel to Cincinnati. But I love this city, and I really can't wait to get back there. And hope everybody's doing well. I'm a big supporter of Molly Wellman too, and her Japs. She makes a lot of Remus cocktails too. So.
That's very nice, and nice words deserved. I think we're gonna have to plan a group outing. We may have lost Pat. Oh, there he is. He's moving.
Yeah, no, I noticed that.
We got a few. Do you approve of the presentation of the drink we just saw?
Yes, absolutely. It was definitely one of those where it's like, I would hang out with that guy. I would definitely hang out with that guy.
Makes you feel like you're spending your Friday night right whenever you've got somebody making a cocktail and having that much energy whenever they're doing it. So big shout out to our bartenders tonight. Next question, and let us know in the comments what you think it is. Matt, what do we got?
Home to the Ohio Anti-Saloon League prior to Prohibition, this Ohio city played a major role in the temperance movement. Was it A, Westerville, B, Zanesville, or C, Strongville?
I gotta say, these are pretty tough.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
They're good, yeah. They're good.
What do you think in the comments? And remember, we give away prizes each show. If you're commenting or sharing, just having fun, tuning in, we pick 2 random winners and reward you after each show. We'll say hi real quick. Oh, Tim says, come visit anytime. I think, Janet saying, and directly addressing me. I thought for sure it would be Pat or Karen. And I was like, I'd much rather hang out with one of those two. Karen's guessing A, Tom guessing A. Wow, very nice. And Crystal showing some love to Jacob for the gunfight drink that was just made. What are we going with? Karen, you are being honest with us tonight. You don't know the answer. So what do you think?
I think, and again, I didn't spend that much time on the George Remus's story was so much more interesting than the Ohio Anti-Prohibition League. So I think, though, that it's Zanesville. I think.
Okay, let's flash that one more time for the folks watching at home. Get your potential answers. Westerville, Zanesville, Strongville. Pat, what do you got?
That one's right out of my territory. I couldn't even begin to guess on this one. This is a full.
That's rough.
I don't
That's
know.
rough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Strongville. What do we
like
think?
the answer?
Let's get the answer.
The answer is A, Westerville, called the dry capital of the world. Westerville did not end its prohibition until 2006.
What?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I need to go talk to them.
Wow, I am feeling derelict in my Remus trivia here.
It's a humbling experience. It is.
It is. We need to get back to Remus and not the Anti-Prohibition League.
Let's do that, actually, since, again, we've got New York Times bestselling author Karen Abbott.
Kidding.
No. No, I definitely need to, I need some more information on this. What is something that you left out of the book that because I know this, maybe, I don't know how hard you were edited by your publisher or self-editing could lead to this as well. What's something that you found to be super interesting that you just didn't have room for in the book?
Let's see. Oh God, there were 2 things. One is smuggling methods. I didn't quite fit as many as I wanted to in there. One of my favorite anecdotes was that women would hide alcohol and booze in their false rubber breasts, which today we call chicken cutlets. So that was one of the things.
The technical term, anyway.
The technical term is chicken cutlets. Yes, indeed. The other thing was I had written about 2 pages worth of George Remus's reputed connection to Jay Gatsby and The Great Gatsby. And I was really fascinated by that just because Jay Gatsby is such an iconic character in American literature. And there were all of these apocryphal stories that Fitzgerald and Remus met while Fitzgerald was stationed in Louisville, Kentucky during his military service. And there's no hard evidence at all for that. But I spoke to the bartender at one of the bartenders or the managers at the Seelbach. And, he said that there was this legendary picture of Al Capone, George Remus, and F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I was like, where is this wonderful, like, if you can find this picture for me, I will personally petition to have it put in the Met. But of course, this picture does not exist, but it's great. And I do think it was that Fitzgerald definitely knew who George Remus was. The similarities between Remus and Gatsby are conspicuous, and especially in terms of the lavish and crazy parties that they threw. So,
look at that. Didn't think you'd get all that information tonight, did you, Pat?
Some of it I had, most of it I did not.
Big thanks, and you all can get Karen's book on Amazon. And I don't know, Karen, would you like to send people to your website as well?
Sure. My website is karenabbott.net, KarenAbbott.net. All of the links to buy are on the splash page. You could certainly go to Amazon or your local bookstore. I always want to support Joseph Beth. Really wonderful Cincinnati bookstore, who's just a great champion of authors, have been really kind to me, and really important to support your local indies.
Huge. Way to go, Karen. That's very important, and especially now I'm seeing books and records getting released, and I know like the small record shops do depend on that, as well as bookstores as well. So support those.
Just about this, you're lucky to have it's just a wonderful bookstore. If people haven't been there, there's like a place to get a drink, and then you find your book, and you can hang out there all day pretty much.
Very nice. Well,
not right now, but
well, that's just another stop for my inevitable trip to Cincinnati.
Exactly.
What's our next question, producer Matt?
The next question is, during George Remus's infamous 1921 New Year's Eve party, there were 300 guests and how many servants? Was it A, 50, B, 100, or C, 200?
I don't even think that people can know that. I would like to know that. I would like to know the
Show me
of that question.
Yeah, that's right. King of the Bootleggers trivia team. You didn't know you had a fact checker on the on the show tonight. Let's start with Pat. Pat, do you think that this plays into any part of a personality? Like, what do these numbers even mean?
So that's my strong set with this kind of question is like, okay, how would I staff that kind of party?
Yeah,
now
that's what Barkeep does. Yeah,
absolutely. So my thought, and just with his extravagant style and everything of that nature, I want to say he went 100. I want to say he went 3-1 on this. So there were, he had one person being able to handle 3 people, which is in extremely fine dining situations. That's about where you're at. You get maybe 3 tables and stuff like that. So I think that's where it's going to land.
That's why I'm going 200. That's why I'm just for the extravagance of it. The helpers had helpers. That's what I'm going with. Karen?
I have, in all of the 4 years of research, I don't think I've ever come across this statistic, but I'll go with 200 as well. I can tell you the band that was playing, but I don't know how many servants. Anyway, I'll go with 200.
This is where the trivia team's exposed.
No, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed.
What if they were there? Did you think of that?
You know what? Even more impressed, and I want to go hang out with you in time travel. So.
Yes. I don't know. Let's check out the comments, see if we have anybody getting involved. Andy says C. Karen says C. Paula, B. Total guess from Leanne. B. Janet also saying B. Crystal guessing C. And all kinds of fun happening in the comments. Shout out to Tom for being very polite as well. What's our answer, producer Matt?
The answer is C, 200.
Yeah.
See, Karen, we're on it. We're making up for that Norway business earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Which now I'm thinking about. Of course, Austria is landlocked. I mean, this is just insanity. This is COVID brain. I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too.
It's okay. We're drinking. Yeah.
How many questions do we have left, Matt?
We have 6, 7, and 8, sir. So 3.
Let's do one more question before we see. We have 1 or 2 more cocktail videos.
Absolutely. Here it comes. It's said that George Remus was the inspiration for The Great Gatsby. What was the first name of Gatsby? Was it A, George, B, Jay, or C, Brody?
Brody.
I'm a personal fan of Brody Gatsby.
Brody Gatsby.
Me and
Yeah.
him go way back.
Yeah.
That's the millennial version of the Great Gatsby.
Right.
Brody
You
Gatsby.
you have burritos with Brody Gatsby. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Okay, so do we all want to just cheers on this one and
Yeah, I think we got this one.
Cheers
yeah.
to Remus.
I want to throw it and go. I want to throw it and go with Brody just for the sake of it. But yeah, I think we got this one.
There's a lot on the line, so be careful in this situation. We've got one more cocktail video, I believe, so let's go ahead and check that out. Again, huge props to the city of Cincinnati. They support King of the Bootleggers Trivia Night so well, and we're all very excited to have Cincinnati folks tuning in and to be able to showcase Cincinnati cocktails. So let's see it.
Hi, my name is Giacomo Ciminello. I'm coming to you not live at all in front of no audience, but we are here in Cincinnati's most beautiful restaurant, Branch, in Walnut Hills area. And today I'm going to bring you something Cincinnati has known and loved so much, a three-way. And what better drink for George Remus than a little three-way anyways, right? What's his undoing? Okay, three ways. Normally it's spaghetti, Cincinnati chili, and cheese. Now I know that doesn't sound very good for a cocktail, but bear with me. All right, we're gonna start with some East India sherry. This is a little bit on the sweet side. It's gonna give us some of our sweetness, but it's also gonna give us our body and our nuttiness. So I'm gonna do 0.5 of that. And then 0.75 of cacao. We make our own because we like it a little bit more on the bitter side. The bitter chocolate notes. And then the instigator of the three-way, our George Remus bourbon. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces of that, 2 ounces if you're feeling particularly frisky that day. Then we're gonna finish it off with a pinch of cinnamon. All right, now we're gonna ice it all down. All right, here we go. Okay, normally this is sort of like a Manhattan riff. You might want to put this over a rock in a glass, but we're going to take this one step further. Remember I said it's three-way. We've got our chocolate, we've got our chili sauce right here. We've got to add it to everything else. So, what better way to do that than with ice cream? Stay with me. Give a little chocolate swirl for presentation. Drop in 2 scoops of our favorite vanilla. This is going to serve as the base for our drink. And I'm gonna strain over our chili. And I'm gonna top it with some Coca-Cola. Now, no three-way would be complete without cheese. And for this we have what's called Gestadt. This is a Nordic goat cheese, goat and cow. It's kind of fudge-like, but it's perfect. It's got a little bit of a salty savoriness, but goes really well with our drink here. So I'm just gonna shave some over the top here. There you have it, a perfect Cincinnati three-way.
A Cincinnati three-way for the win. Pat, was that like your experience in college? Like, how that's so wild.
I wish. No, I am super intrigued by that drink. Like, I need to try that. Like, that was one of those, like, as my cocktail brain was just firing that entire video, where it was just like, oh my god, yes, more. Like,
Karen, are you thumbs up for the drink?
Was mesmerizing. I want to go to Cincinnati to get that cocktail and to play with that dude's mustache.
I think maybe you've got a plane tick bug.
Possibly at the same time, drinking the cocktail and playing with the mustache.
See, Karen gets it, and I think that needs to happen. I was going to say, when he's not growing Cincinnati's best mustache, he's video editing. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was a fun video. Great.
That was
Soundtracked
really cool.
and everything. That was.
I
Big shout out.
never had one of those. Yeah.
The drink? Yes. Okay, got it. So
For the mustache.
Oh, okay. That was super interesting. Whenever he got to the cheese too, he described it. It was fudge-like. I was like, okay, this is definitely needs to be tried, because sometimes people will go a little too heavy on the cool stuff. They did. They hit it, right, Pat? Like they hit all the flavors and notes and everything that would be very interesting.
I'm super intrigued by that drink. It's got those big savory notes. The cream is really interesting. The ice cream choice, because it was one of those where you mentioned it was like a sweeter sherry and everything right off the bat with the chocolate. But then I think the one they're making is going to be, I don't want to say wildly bitter, but I think it's going to shade toward a very dark chocolate side. So then that ice cream brings it back up. I'm sorry, this is where my brain goes with this sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's going to be really crazy. And then you've got that cheese note in there. I have to go have that drink now. Like, that's what I have to do when this is all said and done.
Inspiring, to say the least. Karen, we've got a few questions left. Pat, how are you guys feeling? We'll start with you, Pat. Do you feel like you're going to bring it home in the last couple questions? You're going to show yourself to be a great trivia player?
Yes. Yes.
So confident. Karen, how do you feel?
I'm feeling a little more tipsy than the last time you asked me, but still happy to play trivia, and I'm really having a great time. So
Good. Well, Dexter is too. We're appreciating Dexter, Dexter the bird. Okay, Matt, we've got 2 questions left, guys. Answer in the comments. Again, if you're sharing, if you're commenting along, you're eligible to win a prize at the end. So let's see. We've got 2 left.
When George Remus secured financing from Lincoln National Bank for his first distillery purchase in Cincinnati, what name did he place his account under? Was it A, G. Sumer, B, Andrew Volstead, or C, John P. Alexander?
Real quick, Karen, what would your false name be? If you had
do you want me to? I know the answer to this. Do you want me to tell it, or wait? I'll hold off.
Pat, what would your fake name be at a bank?
Fake name at a bank? I'm going to go with Joe Murdoch.
Oh, he's thought about this.
I have thought about this.
I would be super lazy about it. I would just be like, Teller Pennies.
Kaiser Soze it, yeah.
That's the way I would go with it. Karen, please let us know the answer.
The answer is John P. Alexander.
Was there a particular reason for this choice?
Not that I recall. No, Remus had a bunch of aliases in terms of his money. One of my favorite facts about Remus was that at one point he had so much money he was carrying maybe $100,000 in his pockets at a time, like stuffed everywhere. If you could imagine,
just
that
like
would
us.
seem impossible. Yes, just like us. And he actually considered opening his own bank just to handle his own money.
It's not that far off given what he was doing. I'm not even going to say allegedly with this. That's how Miami was built in the 80s on illegal trade, right? It's not that crazy. Remus is a wild guy, but that's how that stuff kind of works. Karen, we only have 1 question left, but you're an interesting person who's worked so hard on the subject matter, so I can't let you slip away without asking a few more questions about the book and your research. You mentioned the band at the party. So I'm curious if you're just like, oh no, it was the Smith band from down the street. Was there any significant?
It's in the book. I'd have to look it up. It's in the book though. You're getting me on a Friday night here after I've had a few drinks. But
Right.
It's in the book. I could look it up. It was like a big swing band of the time. They played the Sheik of Araby. The Sheik of Araby was the most popular song of the year. So, and everybody in the band jumped into the pool in their tuxedos. I do know that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that research. Pat, I'm trying to think if Karen wrote a book about your life, would you want it to be completed before the age you are now, or do you say give me a little more time?
Now's actually not a bad time. There's been a lot of transitions of my life. There's, I think I've got at least, a solid beginning, middle, and end there. Don't get me wrong.
All right, Pat, we're hooking up.
All right.
We've made the next professional connection right here on King of the Bootleggers Prohibition Trivia. I'm curious too, for the writing process, and it's 2020. When you go in and you talk to your publisher and just the business of everything, how do book sales, is it mostly hard copy? Are you going with the digital now? I am pretty interested in that because especially a book like this, it feels like gotta go hardcover, right? but I'm sure plenty of people consume it through download, different things like that. And does it matter to you how people read the book?
Well, they offer it in all those forms. I don't care personally, and if people buying the book and enjoying the book, that's. And I'm one of those people, like I'm the opposite of you. I can't know anything about the business side, or else it's paralyzing, and I'm not able to work. I can't write at all. So if I know anything about the business that's going on, this sounds really counterintuitive, but if I know anything about business or sales, I'm paralyzed and I can't do anything. So I just prefer to stick my fingers in my ears and and let my agent handle that. And if people enjoy the book, I'm really happy with that. So
that's actually the best answer I could have possibly got. Like, that's fantastic. And that's what agents are for, right? Your agent's out there hustling for you.
Exactly.
So
he is.
That's what matters. Okay, next book that you tackle, do you have something lined up already?
I have an idea that I'm really passionate about. I'll put it this way. The female protagonist is even crazier than Imogene Remus, who I thought was pretty spectacularly crazy. And it's a murder mystery set in the Galapagos Islands in the 1930s. So I'm really hoping that comes, sort of plays out and works out.
Okay, now we have something to look forward to. That's what you call a tease, Pat. See, makes people excited. That's right. Let's get to our final question here on King of the Bootleggers Prohibition Trivia. Matt, what do we have?
By 1880, how many saloons were in Cincinnati? Was it A, 90, B, 400, or C, 1,800?
This is one of those fun ones that you're like, what? No matter the answer, all three of those would surprise me. Is anybody, Karen, are you leaning a certain way on this? I know this isn't your expertise.
I don't know, but I would like to say, just because I know what a fun town Cincinnati is, I'm going with 1,800.
See?
I'm going to say they were packing them in. As many as they could get in there, they were doing it.
Okay. Pat, where are you at?
I've got that same inkling. I'm going with the 18 just because it's one of those where it's like, all right, you start thinking about just your own local area now, and it's like, okay, it's like there's got to be a minimum of that many in the St. Louis area.
Yeah.
So it's like they were hopping. Let's do this,
Plus, yeah, it was a German immigrant city. They had bar, there was a huge beer culture. I'm definitely going 1,800.
I'll just go low for the fun of it and say 90. Do we have any comments? Anybody jumping in on the comments for this one? Leanne's B, Janet C, Andrew A, Ashley C, Tim B, Richard C, Crystal says B, Dave C, since he was Vegas before there was Vegas. Okay, I like that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Karen and Pat going with 1,800. I'm going with 90 just to be a wild win.
Contrarian.
That's what I am. Matt, what do we have?
Well, the answer is C, 1,800. Cincinnati has a long history of crafting and serving fine drinks and was hit especially hard by Prohibition.
Yes, exactly, which is why Remus was a folk hero. He not only brought the booze that people wanted, he paid them he gave them the money to buy it. He employed about 3,500 people in Cincinnati who had lost their jobs from Prohibition. So
that's absurd to think about. Do you think we'll ever have anything on that level of Prohibition happen again in this country?
No, and let's all hope not, especially in times of pandemic. We all need our booze. So
as a
parent
parent
off the
tonight,
booze right now,
yeah, right.
I would have a still in the basement if they had cut off the hooch with all this. Like we would be at it.
Yeah, definitely.
We could get weekly still updates from you. I appreciate that.
I would not be giving you weekly still updates if I was running an illegal still.
What if it was a private stream?
Different story then. Maybe we talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it. One more time, reminder. Again, we've got the shirts. Support all bartenders. $20 directly to the USBG. They're available now. Buyjack.com. Make it happen. Support those who support us, everybody. Karen, one more time, let's tell people how to get the book, how to support you. I believe there's an Instagram page people can follow as well. Get out there, follow Karen.
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. My actual real name is Abbott Kaler. Some of my social media is under Abbott Kaler. But here's the book. It's out in paperback just on Tuesday. My website is karenabbott.net, KarenAbbott.net. I like to do Zoom calls with book clubs. If you have a book club and want to do a Zoom
awesome.
call, it's a lot of fun.
Super cool.
We always get a bunch of drinks together. Sometimes we dress up in our 1920s garb and sort of make a party in our homes. So if anybody wants to do that, I'm down. Just email me.
Okay.
I'm around. I'm not going anywhere.
Karen, do you have like an extensive 1920s like gala outfit sitting around at
Question,
your
Pat.
home right now? Yeah.
I have like an entire like 1920s alter ego that I bring out at night sometimes.
That is fantastic.
I don't know how. So if anybody wants to do that, I'm happy to bring out Tabitha Swarway, which is one of my alter egos. So
Does Dexter know Tabitha?
he does. And he is quite a suave gentleman himself. He often escorts me to the Zoom meetings, and sort of, is a dapper gentleman in his own right.
Please tell me you have a little suit for him.
A little suit, a little top hat.
Okay.
He also tucks one wing behind him to sort of be extra chivalrous.
Wow.
And he sort of greets you with a cordial hello.
What a good bird. Okay.
Yes, he's a very good bird.
How old is he?
He's 19.
Dang. All right, make sure he's not drinking. Let's see. Let's see. Again, support Karen. Purchase the book, The Ghosts of Eden Park. Support Pat and our buddy Matt, who's usually on Barkeep US. They're working hard here in St. Louis, but they also work in other cities as well. My name is Chris Denman. You can check out @WeAreLiveRadio on Instagram, all that good stuff. We just did our virtual happy hour yesterday. We had Jim O'Hare from Parks and Recreation. Jerry from Parks and Rec was on yesterday. So go back, check that out. Big shout out to everybody on YouTube, Facebook. Karen, what a delight. Thank you so much for coming on King of the Bootleggers.
Thanks for everybody who stopped by. I had a lot of fun.
So much fun. And until next week, we'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.